Imagine waking up one morning and seeing the moon, bigger, brighter, and closer than ever before. At first it might seem beautiful, almost mesmerizing. But beneath its glowing facade, an invisible force is at work, an unstoppable shift that will change Earth forever. What if the moon started moving closer to Earth? The moon has been our planet's silent guardian for over 4 billion years. It controls our tides, stabilizes our climate, and even influences the very rhythm of life. But what if something disrupted this delicate balance? A sudden shift in its orbit, an unknown cosmic force, or even a mysterious external impact? Whatever the cause, the moon is now inching closer every day. At first, the changes might seem subtle. The tides would become stronger, rising higher than ever before. Coastal cities would begin to notice more frequent flooding. Night skies would be bathed in an eerie silver glow as the moon's gravitational pull started to intensify. Astronomers and scientists would issue warnings, but the general public might not immediately grasp the severity of what was happening. It would seem like nothing more than a scientific curiosity, until the consequences became impossible to ignore. As the moon moves closer, its pull on Earth grows stronger. Tidal waves would become monstrous, devastating coastal regions and wiping out entire islands. The once calm oceans would turn into raging, unpredictable forces of destruction. Ships would struggle to navigate the violent seas, and entire port cities would be swallowed by relentless waves. Countries with large coastal populations, such as Japan, the Philippines, the United States, and the Netherlands, would face an existential crisis as rising water levels threatened to consume their land. Meanwhile, Earth's rotation would begin to slow. The moon exerts a gravitational drag on our planet, and as it moves closer, it starts interfering with our day-night cycle. Days stretch longer, disrupting ecosystems, agriculture, and even human sleep cycles. People would begin experiencing extreme fatigue as their circadian rhythms struggle to adjust. Farmers would see their crops suffer due to erratic daylight exposure, triggering a domino effect on global food supplies. The longer days and nights would disrupt migratory patterns of birds and marine life, throwing entire ecosystems into chaos. Nocturnal creatures, accustomed to specific patterns of darkness, would be forced to adapt or face extinction. Diurnal animals, including humans, would struggle with extended daylight hours, increasing stress, anxiety, and even affecting mental health. But things get even worse. The moon's approach triggers violent geological activity. Earth's crust, under increased gravitational stress, starts cracking. Volcanic eruptions become more frequent and intense, spewing ash and lava across continents. Earthquakes stronger than anything ever recorded ripple through the planet, causing destruction on an unprecedented scale. Tsunamis triggered by both quakes and extreme tides would relentlessly strike coastal regions, wiping out entire communities. Cities built near fault lines, Los Angeles, Tokyo, Istanbul, would become uninhabitable as the ground beneath them crumbles. Entire nations would face displacement, with millions of climate refugees searching for habitable land. With the moon closer than ever, Earth's gravity begins to warp. The planet itself bulges slightly under the increased pull. This distortion affects the atmosphere, altering weather patterns, making storms more extreme and unpredictable. Hurricanes and typhoons would reach monstrous sizes, fueled by the rising ocean temperatures and disrupted air currents. Inland regions, once safe from such tempests, would experience destructive winds and floods never seen before. Tornadoes could spawn in places where they never existed, leaving a trail of devastation across once thriving landscapes. The very fabric of Earth's weather would be rewritten, plunging the planet into an age of extreme and unpredictable climate events. Humanity scrambles to adapt. Governments declare a state of global emergency. Scientists race to find ways to stabilize the moon's orbit. But the gravitational forces at play are beyond anything humanity has ever dealt with. The world's greatest minds gather in an unprecedented effort to prevent catastrophe, debating drastic solutions, Could we use nuclear explosions to nudge the moon back? Would massive space missions be able to install thrusters to correct its path? Could we mine the moon's surface to reduce its mass and lessen its gravitational pull? Or is humanity powerless against the forces of the universe? As the moon continues its fatal descent, the atmosphere thickens with volcanic ash. Crops fail, animals struggle, and food becomes scarce. Societies collapse under the pressure of mass displacement, extreme weather, and dwindling resources. Wars break out over the last remaining fertile lands and clean water. Civilization as we know it starts to unravel. Governments fall, replaced by survivalist factions, desperate to claim what little habitable land remains. The world turns into a fragmented battleground where only the strongest and most resourceful survive. At some point, one of two things will happen. Either the moon crashes into Earth, or it gets torn apart. If the moon gets too close, about 18,000 kilometers from Earth, our planet's gravity will tear it apart in a process known as the Roche limit. The result? A new ring system around Earth, much like Saturn's, but made of lunar debris. This ring might last for centuries, altering the planet's climate and blocking sunlight. The sky would be dominated by a massive, glowing band of rock and dust, casting eerie shadows across the land. But this wouldn't be a beautiful spectacle. It would mark a new era of darkness. The debris raining down from the sky would cause destruction for years, burning through the atmosphere like an endless meteor storm. If the debris field is thick enough, it could trigger a nuclear winter-like effect, where sunlight struggles to penetrate the thick, dusty sky. Temperatures would plummet, and what remains of human civilization would be forced into a fight for survival in an apocalyptic ice age. But if the moon doesn't break apart and instead continues its descent, the outcome is far worse. A direct collision would be apocalyptic. The impact would be equivalent to billions of nuclear bombs detonating simultaneously. Oceans would boil, continents would shatter, and Earth's surface would be utterly destroyed. The explosion would send fiery debris into space, some of it potentially reaching other planets in the solar system. A dense cloud of superheated rock and dust would envelop what remains of Earth, turning it into a molten wasteland. The very atmosphere could be stripped away, leaving Earth looking like Mars, dry, lifeless and barren. This would mark the end of all life as we know it. Thankfully, none of this is actually happening. In reality, the moon is actually moving away from Earth at a rate of about 3.8 centimeters per year. That means, rather than getting closer, the moon is slowly drifting farther into space. But this scenario serves as a stark reminder of how fragile our cosmic balance really is. The moon is more than just a beautiful object in the night sky. It's a crucial piece of Earth's stability. Without it, life as we know it might not even exist. The tides that have shaped coastlines and nurtured marine life would diminish. The seasons, governed by the moon's stabilising effect on Earth's axial tilt, could become erratic. And who knows? If the moon were ever to leave Earth entirely, would our planet slowly spiral into chaos? So the next time you look up at the moon, remember, it's more than just a celestial companion. It's our protector, our timekeeper, and a silent force shaping our very existence. And if it ever decided to come closer, well, let's just say we wouldn't be here to tell the story. If you enjoyed this journey into the unknown, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more mind-bending scenarios. What other what-if questions do you want us to explore? Let us know in the comments below. Until next time, keep watching the skies and stay curious.